everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. It's me IJ and I'm back with a new tutorial. If today is your first time of stopping by, you are highly welcome. My returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thanks for all your support. So guys, today we are going to DIY this beautiful gown that Enedo is putting on this screen. That is what I want to show to you guys, how to go about it. It's so easy to achieve. So guys, without wasting much of your time, let us dive into today's tutorial. You can see my already drafted panels. I have made series of video on how to draft a corset. This is a corset with yoke. So now I've drafted this. This is the yoke part of it, and this is the two cups and the center and also the side panel. So I'm going to use it now to place on my material to cut out my material. So guys, please, I'm going to link the video on how to draft a corset with cup on this video so that you can check it out if you don't know how to draft it. I don't want this video to be too long. So now let's get started. So now guys, this is the back panel. I want to explain to you guys how it will look. At the back, it has a loop and also it has an opening at the back. It doesn't have a yoke. So just draft your basic bodice pattern, the back panel. If you don't know how to draft it, please check out my channel. Check one of the videos on my channel. I've made a well-detailed tutorial on how to draft a back panel. It's so easy. So now this is your back panel. Now you came down by any number of inches you want it to be at the back, but I'm making use of 3 inches. I came down 3 inches and I open it up, and after the 3 inches of the neck opening, I came down by 2 inches. I now mark at 2 inches, and from that 2 inches I now marked another 5 inches. Do you see it? I now mark 5 inches. Here is my 5 inches. This is where the loop is going to start, where we are going to start to add the loop. So from these 2 inches I came down. Do you see it? From these 2 inches I came down and now you curve it. But before curving it, remember, this is the zip line, 1 inch seam allowance as the zip line. After the zip line, and I came in by 2.5 inches from the zip line. This is the zip line, and I came in by 2.5 inches and I mark it down. Do you see it? I now gave it a straight line. So from these 2 inches here, I now curve it to meet. And on this inside here, I made use of 3 inches. On this point, which is the chest line, I came in by 3 inches. So from here, I now curve it to meet the 3 inches here. And from these 3 inches at the chest line, and I came down to the 2.5 inches at the waist. Do you see it? So that is the way I did it, and I now curve it. Do you see it? Then I now cut it out. So that is how the back is going to be. So this is now the back panel. So now I'm going to use it to place on my materials and cut out my material. Now guys, this is my back panel. I have cut it out. Do you see it? And I have cut out also the lining. And this is the lining, and I've added gum stay or facing to it. Do you see it? So I'm going to use it to turn it. But while turning it, I will now insert my loop. The loop, remember, is going to stop at the chest line. Where we have the chest line, that is where it's going to stop. So after which, I will place my lining. Do you see it? I'll place my lining and I'll sew on it. Then I'll now turn it. That is the back panel. So this is the front panel. While cutting the front panel, like I said, this is the corset that we used to cut it. I did not add any allowance to it on here, but I have to place it together to align it together because I want to cut it as a piece. So I now put it together in this form. That is how I cut it out. Do you see it? I place it. I cut it out. Do you see it? And on this area of the cup, I added 1/2 inch seam allowance on the upper side, and also the lining. This is the lining, and these are the cups using our panel and cut out the cups, and also I line it. This is the lining, and also I cut out the wording. Do you see the wording? The wording, I cut it exactly with the measurement of our draft, but cutting the material, I added 1/2 inch seam allowance. Do you see it? 1/2 inch seam allowance all through, so that I will use it to sew it. So now the next thing to do is just to take it to our machine and sew our cups together to fix it, after which we will use the yoke to cut out the upper part of it. So now guys, I will now take it and sew the cups together, and I'll be back for us to see how it looks. This is our cup. Do you see it? This is our cup. I have joined the two together to form the cup, and this is our center. Remember, we cut it as one piece. So the next thing to do now is just to place it in this form, and also place this in this form and sew it. Then it's going to be like the lining. I have sewn that of the lining to show to you guys how it's going to look. Do you see it? That is how this is going to look. Do you see it? So now I'm going to do it, and also I've cut out our yoke. Remember, it's with yoke. So this is the yoke. So I cut out the net double because I will use the other one to turn it. So I cut it out. So after turning it, we are going to fix it here. Do you see it? We are going to fix it here. So we are going to fix it in this form, and then use our lining to turn it, which I'm going to do for us to see. And also this panel is going to have boning, so I would like the boning to come from the inside. So I have placed my bias where I'm going to sew to fix the boning. I'm not going to place it in front. I'm going to place it at the back, and I will sew it, and I'll add boning to it, which I will show to you guys. So now this is our back panel. I have used the lining, like I said, to turn it. Do you see it? Do you see how beautiful it is? That's the back panel. Do you see the loop? So I have now used it to turn it and to add our loop to it, where we are going to insert our bias later. Do you see it? So the back panel, I've done it. So the next thing to do now is to fix our cup. I want to show to you guys how the cup is going to look before fixing it. So I'll take it to the machine now to fix it, after which I will now add our yoke and use our lining to turn it. Now guys, after adding this cup to the yoke, remember the front part of this gown is having a band, and while cutting the upper part, which is the shoulder to the half length, the shoulder to the half length is 17 inches, but I cut out 15 inches. That is what I cut out, so that I'll make use of 2 inches for the band. So I'm going also to cut out the band to join to it. This is our front panel. I've joined it. Do you see it? I've joined the cup and also our net. Do you see it? That is the yoke. I have joined it. Do you see how beautiful it is? This is the inside. Do you see it? So now the front and the back upper part is ready, and this is our back that we have earlier done. Do you see it? So we'll now keep it aside to work on the down part of this gown that we are making. Remember, the length of this gown we are working with is 58 inches. The upper part from the shoulder to the waist, including the band, is 17 inches. So we are left with 41 inches to be the skirt part of it. So we are going to cut it out. And these are my panels. I've cut it out already. Please, like I said, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to link the tutorial on how to cut a pencil skirt to this tutorial, to this video, so that you guys can check it out. That I'm going to explain. It's very easy. This is the front panel. Just fold your material in two. Fold your material in two. this is the front panel. Do you see it? Just fold your material in two. Take the measurement of your waist, the measurement of your hip, and the length of the skirt, which ours is 41 inches plus 1 inch to turn it, so making it 42 inches. So I have cut it out. This is the front panel, and also this is the lining, and I used it to cut out our back panel. Just place it after cutting it, place it on your back panel, add your zip allowance at the back, and you cut it, and you are good to go. So now this is our panel of the down parts. So I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of the front side. Remember, one side will be asymmetrical. We will cut it asymmetrical form to fit in. That is to be on the side, left or hand side, anywhere you want it is your choice. So the front part, I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of this front part. So now I've done it. This is the other piece of it with also the lining. Do you see it? I cut it too. So the next thing to do now is to take it to the machine to take in my darts. Remember, you use your nipple to nipple measurement to get your dart. So I'm going to take my dart, and I'll use the lining also to turn it. Then I'll bring it back to show to us. Then we will now achieve our asymmetrical form of one of the front panel. So this is it. So now I'm going to do that, and I'll be back for us to work it out. I have used our lining. Do you see it? To turn the back panel. Do you see it? That's the back panel. So I have turned it with the lining, and also the front panel. I have turned the inner one with also the lining. Do you see it? And I've taken our darts and also taken the dart of the back panel. Now our concentration is on the outer one that is going to be asymmetric. So this is the one that is going to be asymmetric. I've just used the lining to turn it on the down part. So now we are going to take our measurement. It depends on where you want it to be. If you want the asymmetric to come from the right hand side or from the left hand side, the choice is yours. But I believe that of Enedo is from the right hand side going to the left. So now if you are confused, you can put it on your body in this form to know the sides that you want. So now when I place it in this form, the asymmetric is going to come from my right hand side to the left. So now I'm going to take only one dart in on this left hand side. That is the dart I have taken in. So I will now place it in this form. So the asymmetric is going to start from the point of the dart on the right hand side, and I notch it. This is the point. So this is the point. So I'll come down to this down side to measure how I want it to be, the wideness. So from this point, remember I left while cutting it, I left 2 inches as my seam allowance. So I will mark at that 2 inches. So from that 2 inches, I will now come in to 8 inches. I will stop at 8 inches here. So I will now curve it from this point, that is from the dart of the left hand side. I will now curve it to meet the 8 inches here. So I will now use my straight ruler. So from this point now, from this dart of the left hand side, I will now connect it to the 8 inches that I came in from the right hand side. So that is the way it's going to be. From this dart now, you now curve it in this form. Do you see it? So I'm going to curve it, but I'm not going to curve it exactly at this. I'm going to leave my seam allowance to close it up. So I'm going to leave 1 inch seam allowance. I'm going to leave 1 inch seam allowance. But because I'm not using the same material for this, I'm going to add extra 2 inches so that after sewing it, I will now fold it in for it to cover it. So from this dart, I will come in, I'll go out by 3 inches. I'll go out by 3 inches. And on this 8 inches I marked here, I'll come also out by 3 inches. Do you see it? So now this is where I'm going to connect it. So from these 3 inches here that I came from the dart, I connect it there. So that is the way you are going to connect it. Do you see it, guys? So from here now I've connected it here. So I'm going to now cut it out. So guys, do you see it? So now when I use 1/2 inch to close it up, while folding it, I will fold it from the dart here, because I want the main material to show by the side. I don't want the lining to show. That is why I came out by 3 inches. So after sewing it, I'll show to you guys what I meant by coming out by 3 inches. This is the dart. So when I sew it here, while closing it, folding it, I will now fold it here. So some of the excess of the lining has to come out on this side, then I will trim it off. So I will now take it to the machine to do that. Then I will come back. After doing it, it will be in this form. So I will take now my front part, which is this, then I will place this on it. I'll place it on this form. Do you see it? I'll place it. After sewing it, I'll fold it, then I'll place it in this form. That is the asymmetric one that you now saw. Do you see it? And after that, I will now join the flay. The flay that is on this side, I will join it. That is the flay that comes from the waist to this end. It did not go down to the hem of the skirt. It ended around the knee area. So what you have to do is just to take your tape and measure it. Then when you measure it, now you now use it to cut out your flay. But I'm going to cut out half flay, not full circle flay. I'm going to cut out half flay. So I will measure. So just take your tape for the flay that you now see. You now measure where you want it to be. It came down to the knee. So I'm going to use 27. That is the length I'm going to use, from the waist to 27 inches. That is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to now use it to cut out my flay. But I'm going to cut half circle flay, not full circle flay. So I'm going to divide the circumference with 3.14. That is what I'm going to use to cut out the flay that I'm going to add here. So I will do that. Now this is the one that we cut asymmetric. Like I said to you guys, I don't want the lining to start from here. That was why we now gave 3 inches extra allowance. So after cutting it, do you see it? I use the lining to sew it, but while folding it, I fold it from the dart. That is why it is in this form. Do you see it? So this is now ready. This is the asymmetric, it's ready. And also I have cut out my flounce that is going to be at the side. I said I'm going to use half circle flay to cut it out. So what I did was to measure where I have to fix it, which is 27 inches. I divide 27 inches by 3.14, which gave me 8.5 inches. And that 8.5 inches, I added it the length that I want it to be, which gave me 23 inches. So now this is my length. My length is 13 inches after cutting out the 8.5 inches, which is the circumference that I used to cut the half circle flay. So now this is my flounce. This is the way I want to do it. So now the next thing to do is to take the asymmetric front part, to take it. Do you see it now? So I have to add it. So it's just simple. Just take it and now place it how you want it to be. So you now first place it on the waist, which you are going to attach to the main body. Then you come inside in this form. You place it inside in this form. Do you see it? That is the way to place it. You also place it again. Do you see it? So this is the way it's going to be. Do you see it? Do you see how it's going to be? That is the way. So after attaching it, we'll now make the bow that you see on the front with this first one in this form. Do you see it? So this is our flounce. So you are going to attach it one after the other. You are not going to rush it. You are going to attach it one by one. When you attach here, you will now open up the next one, which is on this side. You attach it. You open the next one, you attach it. That is the way to attach it, and it will be simple for you. So I'm going to do that now, to attach it one by one. Just open it up. You attach it to the main body. You open the other side. You attach it. Do you see it? You open the other side. You equally attach it. That is the way to attach it one by one. Attaching it, after attaching this to the body, I will now take this front part. I'll take this front part in this form, and I'll bring it to attach it to this side. I will now attach it with this. After attaching this to the one that we cut, to this one, I will attach it to this side. Do you see it? I will attach it together like this, and I'll sew it together so that it will be easy to sew to the back panel. I'll sew it together. By then, I have attached the flounce. I've attached the flounce to it. Then I'll sew it. I'll show it. Now, guys, I have attached our flounce. Do you see it? To attach it one after the other, you open it up. You attach it the easiest way. Do you see it? So now this is ready. The flounce is ready. And also the front panel. And that's our front panel. This is our front panel. I've added the band. Do you see it? So the next thing now is to join it to this place. Do you see it? So the next thing is to join it here. And this is our back panel. Our back panel is also ready. The back panel, do you see it? That's the back panel. And this is our loop. Do you see it? So it is now ready. That's the back panel. Do you see how it is? So this is the back panel. The back side is easy. The main concentration is the front part. And also the sleeve. This is our bell sleeve with boning. That is the standing bell sleeve. That is also the sleeve of this dress. So now the next thing I have to do is to join it together. I will upload the video on how to achieve this sleeve in another video, because I don't want this to be too long, like I said. So I will upload a new video on how to achieve this bell sleeve. It's just simple. So now I'm going to fix the front and the down parts, also attach the back and the front panel together, fix the sleeve, and we'll now see the final look. Guys, this is the final look of our gown that we have just DIY. Do you see how beautiful it is? Do you see it? Do you see the bell sleeve that we added? Do you see the flounce? And we now folded this one on this waist to make the bow that you just saw on the one that we are replicating. Do you see how beautiful? You can decide to use anything to beautify it. You can decide to use your trim, or you can decide to use beads. But I'm going to use this trim now to beautify it. Just place it anywhere you want. I'm going to pin it down. Later, I'm going to use my gum to gum it. Just place it, make it look beautiful. Just place it. Do you see it? Just place it, make it look beautiful. So later I'm going to use my gum to gum it. I just want to show to you guys how it is. You can decide to use string, you can decide to use beads. The choice is yours. Just pin it. I'm pinning it to show to you guys how it will look. So guys, do you see it? So beautiful. Do you see how it is? So beautiful. You can use anything to beautify it. And also, let me show you guys the back. So this is the back. Do you see the back? You know, this is not the exact size, so I have to pin it to look, to have shape. So this is the back. Do you see it? So beautiful. Do you see it? The opening at the back and the loop that we added. Do you see it? So, and that's the opening so that the person can walk. Do you see it? So our gown is now ready. Guys, so beautiful. The bell sleeve, I'm going to upload the video on how to achieve this bell sleeve later. Check out this on my channel. I'm going to do that. And also remember, for the flounce to stand, you are going to add gum stay to it. I added gum stay, hard one, to it. That is why it was able to stand. Do you see it, guys? Now guys, to achieve this bow here, remember it is the flounce that we used to. So let me show to you guys how to achieve it. Remember, this is the bow. Remember, this is the flounce. Here is the flounce. Do you see it? So it's not going to look beautiful in this form. That is why it was used to make a bow. So just take it from here. Do you see what I'm doing? Anyhow you want it, then you come to this point of the waist. Do you see it? To this point of the waist, then you tack it with your needle and thread, but tack it in a form that nobody will see it. So I will use pin to hold it now, so for you guys to see it, and later I will tack it with my thread and needle with the matching color of the thread. Do you see it? Just tack it. Do you see it, guys? So that is how the bow in the front was formed. Do you see it, guys? So beautiful. Do you see it? I have tacked it. So beautiful. So guys, this is the way the bow was achieved. Do you see it? Do you see it? So if this tutorial has been helpful to you, don't forget to like, share and comment on my videos. And if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Subscription is free. Support me to grow this channel, and see you in my next video. For now, kiss, kiss, kiss. Bye.